It wasn't just Judas, the zealot. The zealot who couldn't get over his position of wanting this kingdom to be realized. He couldn't be converted like the others were converted. Judas was so much anticipating this kingdom actually being realized that he wasn't able to be converted like the others were converted, away from what is recorded about them fighting about who will be greatest, and recorded about some of them coming to him and asking for special favors to be made great. Which is completely animal, which is completely in the realm of the psychology of what makes the humans what they are. Common animals driven by that same thing, to want to get, to want to have, to want to survive, to want to build up their wall of greatness, what Solomon represents. The opposite of what Jesus represented, what Jesus was, what Jesus chose. The humans speak about Jesus being without sin, as though he never committed any sin. As though sin is some bad thing that bad people do. Sin is something that wrong people do. The sinful nature. They say Jesus had no sinful nature. Some say he had no sinful nature because he was God, which wipes out the work that he did. Others say that he had no sinful nature because he denied the sinful nature. But what is the sinful nature? What is sin? What is evil? What is the adversary? Sinful nature is everything that the humans naturally are in themselves. Sinful nature is normal behavior for the human animals. Sinful nature is listening to that voice of wanting to be great. It's listening to the voice that delineates the individual and collective purpose of man, which stands opposed to God's purpose. The voice of the talking snake is the voice that speaks to the humans all the time, every second. It's the father of man, It's what man became. What you can see in yourself if you start to examine yourself. The drive to want to provide, the drive to want to get, the drive to want to maintain your own purpose, your will. The drive to want to be right. The drive to want to be smart, to be intelligent, to be pretty, to be acceptable, to have a position, to be honorable, to be respectable. All these things are encased within this tendency which is alive on deep levels in the animals. With a wrapper of the desire to survive. That sort of guides, in principle, that drive. It propels it further. The desire to survive on a simplistic level, once that's met, turns into things that are more practical once the animal doesn't feel like it's always in danger of dying, of starvation or the elements, exposure to heat or cold. Once those seem to be met in the animal, then that drive to survive turns into other things. It turns into other more practical things. It doesn't just go away because the animal feels like it's safe, that it's not going to starve to death. That drive and need to survive turns into other things that are more practical for the animals, according to their situation and their circumstance.